All right. Hey, everyone. I hope I got this right. Good, good, good. Whoo, this is going to be good. This is going to be so good. I hope my voice is clear because I don't want anyone who's going to be watching this later on to miss anything. Let me make sure that I am on this side. Yes, here we go. Good. So I have it clear. This is going to be an amazing session. I'm so excited about this session because it's near to my heart, and I have consistently given this advice to every business person I know. I think for me, it's the number one business advice out there, and I want to dive in detail. I mean, bookkeeping is everything. It's the make or break of your business. And so I want us to really flesh it out. I'm going to take my time with this because I don't want us to rush it. And I want to take questions. Any questions that you guys have, please feel free to ask me. I will definitely be answering. If it concerns the bookkeeping or concerns taxes, I will be happy. Even business structuring, don't hesitate. This is my area. Oh, nonprofits too is my terrain. I could talk this all day with so much excitement. So to start off, I'm working from home, and I'm thinking of all of you guys who work from home. Look, hats off, okay? I don't know how you guys do it. I'm working from home because my kid is home, and I'm already contemplating when I'm going to end up in jail today. Just really interesting. I just have a hard time. I don't know how people do it, but we're here. So let's get started. If you do not know me, I am Dr. Lily Binglo. I am a licensed CPA. I'm based in Virginia, but our company serves clients all over the US. I'm the founder of the accounting firm called the ARC NPS, and we provide accounting services to accounting, payroll, bookkeeping services, tax services to everybody all over the US and beyond, okay? Something that people never know that we do is that we set up businesses for people in the US, all over the US and outside of the US. So we have clients that own businesses in the US, and you can, by the way, anybody who watches this, if you're not someone who is based in the US and you wanted to create a business in the US, you can. A business or a nonprofit, you can be a 501c3 organization in the US and still get donations, and people get the write-off, okay? Just thought I'd throw that out there. You know, I'm always putting stuff. So this topic of bookkeeping has been very near and dear to my heart. And if you know me, teaching is my core. Teaching is all I like. It gives me a reason to wake up every day. And I do what I do because I know that there is a gap. There is such a huge gap. There are a couple of people that have the knowledge, and sometimes they're too busy to share, or sometimes they may not just like sharing it. I happen to be one of the few that I know a little bit about my stuff really well, and I always want to make sure that I'm sharing that with anyone who could benefit from it. So if you're a business owner, if you're a nonprofit founder, if you're someone who is thinking about going into business, this is going to be very beneficial to you, okay? So why bookkeeping? Why am I making such a big deal about bookkeeping? My friend was like, it's tax season. Why are you talking bookkeeping? I said, because everything comes down to bookkeeping. And that's why I opened this up to also take tax questions. But let's go into bookkeeping, what it is and why it's so important. And then we're also going to touch on how you can start making sure you're tracking your records, okay? So bookkeeping in the simplest terms is your ability to, is just tracking your income and your expenses, period. That's all bookkeeping is. Tracking what's coming into your business and what's going out, okay? So if you receive money, someone pays for a service, you track it. If money is going out to pay for expenses, you track it. At the end of the day, you will know if you made a profit or you made a loss, okay? All of that only happens when you have been tracking your stuff. And this is where bookkeeping comes in. Bookkeeping is such a powerful ingredient to your success on so many levels, where if you do not prioritize it, I can promise you at some point, your business is going to suffer. One, because you're going to be stressed out. Two, because you will never know if you're making money or not. Three, you will not know if it's time to exit that business, stay on that business. Four, you might get an opportunity to get money, but you will not be able to get the money because you do not have your books in order. And five, you will not even have peace of mind, right? You can attract potential investors, just a ton of stuff. So before I go into talking about why bookkeeping is important, I want to let you guys understand something. I'm going to break this down into 5 different areas when I'm talking about the importance of bookkeeping. I'm going to cover bookkeeping from a perspective of the business owner. I'm going to cover why it is important from the perspective of a funding person, which means a potential investor or a bank. I'm going to cover why it's important from the perspective of when it comes to your growth decisions, whether you should grow your business, sustain, and things like that. I will be doing it also from the tax perspective. That's one of the biggest ones. And then the last one from an exit strategy perspective. I just wrote this. You can see it's kind of rough. I was like, let's get organized, okay? I said, let me make sure that, because my brain is always running. So I wanted to get it organized. So we'll start. Why is bookkeeping important? From the business owner perspective, the first thing is that you want to always know how much you've invested in your business. Guys, there are a lot of us that go into business and we're paying for stuff out of our pocket. Here's the problem when you're not doing bookkeeping. You never know if that money that you're paying for is coming from money that the business is generating or is from your job. And so for people who have their income coming from a job and they use it to fund their business, sometimes they think their business is making money, but it's not. So as a business owner, you want to track everything that's coming in and going out because you always want to know if you're making money in your business or not. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you want to know when you can go full-time on your business. There are a lot of business owners I know, sadly, that made a quick jump of, oh, I'm going to go full swing entrepreneurship. But their business was not ready because their business could not supplement their income from a job. If you do not have bookkeeping, you might be thinking the money coming from your job and the money from your business is all from your business. What bookkeeping does is that bookkeeping will help you now to categorize it correctly. So you know this money is coming from my job, this is from my business. At this point in time, the business is not giving me enough money for me to be able to quit my job, okay? So it's very crucial as a business owner that you track everything that is coming in and going out, because then you will know at this point in time, I'm not ready to go full swing. And if you start making enough money, you will only know because you were tracking. So that's another reason why it's important for you to track. The third thing is that you want to also know how much you're spending in your business. Let me say this. When we're spending money out of pocket, in fact, when you start a business, let me put it in simple terms. There are 2 ways you fund a business. You fund a business, one from the owner's pocket, which is what you call equity, or other people that are owners, or you fund it using a loan, okay? Now, why is that important for you as a business owner? Because you knowing how you funded your business determines the value or the ownership value of your business. So if you wanted to sell your business, you kind of know exactly what has gone into your business. If you watch my last video, I was talking about the SWAM certification, how SWAM will look at how much the woman invested in the business to be a 51% owner. Same thing with you as the owner. You always want to know how much of your personal money has gone into that business. So if you ever plan to sell, if you ever plan to bring in another partner, you know how much it is that they'll need to bring in. Hey bro, I see you. Welcome back. You're going to chop live in Cameroon. All right, Shay Forming is on it. I said Shay Forming. Wait, God, look at me. This is so sad. All right. So that's another reason why it's so important for you as a business owner to track. And then the last thing is that you want to have peace of mind. Guys, there are so many of us that go into business and we leave the business to start sustaining us, but it was not ready. And then you have bills and you can't sleep at night. You're stressed out because you are not tracking. But when you track, you always have an idea of what it is that your business has to pay, when it's supposed to come out, and then you can plan ahead, okay? Manka, I see you. So that's the first thing. So from a business owner perspective, there are 4 reasons I gave. 1, you want to know how much you've invested. 2, you want to know when you can go full-time into your business. 3, you want to know how you're paying for your expenses out of your pocket. Or yes, you might be using a credit card, which is debt, to fund it, or you might take a loan. You want to know. And the last one, you want to have peace of mind, okay? The second reason why a bookkeeping is important is because you want to be able to attract funding. Let me tell you, the worst thing that can happen to you is when you need money and you go to the bank and they say, can we have your profit and loss statement or your financial statements, right? Profit and loss balance sheet, and you don't have anything to give them. As a business owner, you should be able to tell me how much you made last year. You should be able to say last year our profit was this, or we made a loss of this, which means you knew everything that came in, everything that went out. And this is where you're at. So what happens to a lot of people is that they will meet a potential investor. They'll tell them about their idea. And the investor will ask you, okay, give me an idea. How profitable is your business? And let me talk to my accountant and get back to you. No, that's not right. You should have a good idea at every point in time where your business stands. Because every time you have the opportunity to talk to someone who can be a potential investor, or the bank who might want to give you a loan, they need your numbers. They need to know what you have done with what you had and what you will do with what they're going to give you. Because think about it. If you come to me that you need money to expand, I need to know that, okay, what you had has a track record of bringing in revenues, of being able to give a return on that investment, so that when I put my additional money into yours, we're going to do even more, and there's going to be enough profit for you to pay me back. Right? But if I don't have that track record, which is where the historical data is missing, which is where bookkeeping is missing, you're in trouble. You will lose out. Okay. So the second reason why bookkeeping is so important is because it would help you attract and secure funding from investors, from bankers, and potential business partners as well. Okay. Now, the third reason why bookkeeping is crucial for your business is because you need to know if your business is growing and when to make major decisions for your business. Guys, this is very important. I know so many people that rush to hire employees, for example, when their businesses were not ready to carry on that load. So people rush to want to get a business. Leo, I see you, Pur. Oh my God. Baby, I see you. Thank you. I see all of you guys. Thank you so much. I don't want to lose my train of thought, but thank you guys. So growth and your growth for your business and the quality of decision making comes back down to the value of your bookkeeping. Now, let me explain. If you don't know where you stand, you might be thinking that it's time for your business to expand. For someone who sells things, right? Maybe you order things from China and you sell. Now, if you're not doing bookkeeping and you usually have cash in and out of your hands, you might think there's a lot of money coming in. But it might not be, because you might have money from other sources, other side jobs that you do that looks like you're making money, but you're not. Then you go and you place this big order from China because you want to grow, and then nobody's buying it because you never had any bookkeeping in place to show you if you were actually making money on that. Okay, so in order for you to grow, you need to know exactly where you're at every point in time. And so when you know where you're at, then you can make decisions to take you to your next level. Okay, that's what bookkeeping does. Bookkeeping will tell you, this is the amount of money that is coming in. This is what we're spending. This is where we start. Can we hire employees, right? And let me just touch on this employee thing, guys. I know we're talking about bookkeeping, but before you hire employees, you have to know that you have enough money to support it. Because when you hire employees, you have to pay payroll taxes. So you have to pay 50% of their social security and Medicare. And then of course, you take out the other side from their paychecks and you send to the IRS. Sometimes people would hire an employee, they're not ready to pay the employee they're not able to make those quarterly payments to the IRS. They cannot provide benefits to the employee, but they have made a decision that will end up costing them so much, because when you don't send that money to Uncle Sam, they will come for you, right? And then you have an employee now that is dependent on being paid, but they're not getting paid. Meanwhile, you should have been hiring an independent contractor at that point in time. All of these things are coming down to what? The quality of your bookkeeping. By you tracking what's coming in, what's going out, you know exactly where you are, and then you can make decisions that will be able to align with your growth for your business, okay? The fourth reason why bookkeeping is important is because of taxes. It's because of taxes, you guys. Let me tell you something, okay? I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure the IRS has the statistics. But let me tell you, majority of the people that fail to take advantage of the tax strategies or the tax or leverage the tax code, majority of the people that get audited or people that pay the most in taxes, many of them never had a good bookkeeping system in place. Now, why is that important? I'll start by explaining how businesses are taxed, okay? For those that have jobs, when you get income from your job, they take out taxes and then you spend your money. That's how it is, right? You earn your salary, they take out taxes, and then you spend your money. When you file taxes, the only thing that you're doing when you're filing taxes is that you're giving that record to Uncle Sam to compare. And they're going to say, okay, based on your tax bracket, did you pay enough taxes? If you paid enough or more than enough, you get a refund. If you didn't pay enough, you pay back some. Business is different, okay? With business, you earn money. You spend the money, you only pay taxes on your profit. I want to explain this because it aligns with everything we'll be talking about. Okay, hear me out. Business owners earn money, spend money, and you only pay taxes on what is left. Which means if you're a business owner who is not tracking your expenses, what will happen to you? You're going to end up paying so much taxes in business and to the IRS, right? Because the people that pay you the money or the people that you use to collect your money, all of them report all of that income to the IRS. So your income is never the tough part. The IRS knows how much you made. Now, it's up to you to be able to report all your expenses so that you can make sure you're not giving Uncle Sam more than what you should be giving Uncle Sam, okay? Simple example, you have business owners that do a lot of driving, like real estate agents. That's a lot of driving. Most of them drive almost 22,000 miles a year, okay? Now, imagine someone who doesn't have a system of tracking her miles and recording that, okay, so that they can get the deduction. Can you imagine the amount of money they're going to pay on taxes if they only reported their income? Does that make sense, you guys? So as a business person, it's so crucial for you to be able to track what is coming in and what's going out because one, you want to make sure that you're leveraging the tax code. Two, you want to make sure that you're saving on taxes. People will usually come to me and they'll ask me questions about tax strategy. I mean, all of us on social media now, you hear all these amazing tax strategies on TikTok, right? Here's the problem. As great as it is, it may not apply to your situation. And do you know the only way I will know if it applies to you? When I see your numbers. Your numbers is the make or break. Your numbers is what will tell me, this is what we need to be doing for your business. This can be applied and it can be applied this way. So sometimes you will take those things and you jump on it, you're like, yo, I have to do this, except it may not be relevant to you. So when you have a good bookkeeping system in place, it helps you to save on taxes. It helps you to leverage the tax code. It helps you to apply tax strategies. And then the big one is for people that get audited. Do you know how often people get audited? Like people just go to random tax preparers, you give them a box of receipts and they don't have time. So what would they do? They will put in any number. At the end of the day, the IRS will come for you, right? Because they're going to say, wait, you say you made $2,000 in revenues, but you spent $20,000 in food. Who are you feeding? You know what I mean? And if you did not have a bookkeeping system in place, what will happen? You're going to get audited. Guys, paying the penalties for those audits and the tax back is not fun because you're going to pay the tax back, pay the penalties and the interest. So when you have bookkeeping in place, it helps you not only save on taxes, it helps you avoid audits. And even if you got audited, and let me just say that there's nothing wrong with getting audited. But if you got audited and you have your books in order, when they come to you, you show it. It's normal. Sometimes you can get audited even if your things are in order, okay? Being audited does not mean you did something fraudulent. But you don't want to be in the position where they actually come to find out and you do not have any records to substantiate what you provided to the IRS, okay? And then my fifth reason why bookkeeping is so important is for your exit strategy. A lot of small business owners, when they go into business, they think of now. I want to make money now. But I want to challenge you guys. You also have to start thinking of your exit strategy. Is this business that you want to do for the next 15, 20 years? If not, what will be your exit strategy? Do you plan to sell or do you plan to pass on to your kids? Now, all of those things are also crucial because if you have not been tracking everything, how would you know the value of your business to sell? Also, how would you know if it's time to close it? Because closing your business is also an exit strategy. There are a lot of businesses that are not making money. And trust me, there's no shame in shutting down a business that is not making money. If you feel like your business is no longer serving you, shut it down. Some businesses will bring you so much stress. They will bring you so much headache. It will be so time consuming. It take you away from your family and it may not be worth it, right? They say insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So with you having a good bookkeeping system in place, you guys, guess what happens? You're able to know at every point in time, should I stay in this business or should I exit? Is it worth it or not? Okay, and that's the only time you know how you're going to exit. Am I going to exit by shutting down the business? Am I going to exit by selling off the business? Am I going to exit by transferring the business to my kids? None of these things can happen without you knowing what your business is making and what is costing you to keep your doors open. So those are my top 5 reasons, and then we're going to go to the next phase of this. Okay, for anyone who is joining us, John, I see you. Star Daddy is on here. We talked about we looked at the importance of bookkeeping from 5 angles. From the business owner perspective, from a funding perspective, where we talked about your potential funders that will need to see your records, investors, bankers, potential partners. We talked about your growth, being able to make decisions that are aligned with your growth. The 4th one, we talked about tax strategies that you may not be able to take advantage of, which could lead to you even paying additional taxes or getting audited. And then the 5th one, we talked about your exit strategy. Every business owner must have an exit strategy. Either you're going to sell it off, either you're going to close it at some point if it's not giving you the return on your investment, or you're going to pass it on to your kids. Whichever one, if you do not know at every point in time where you stand money-wise, it's going to come and haunt you. So bookkeeping is key, okay? So now we're going to dive into our last section. And our last section now is, what do you do? Okay, I have some people on here who are probably thinking, Lily, since I started my business, I just feel overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. I've not been tracking anything, and it's just overwhelming. And I get it. Okay, I hear you, because it's not easy. It's not your forte. You went into business because you love what you do. You want to make money. The last thing on your mind is sitting down, going through receipts and tracking stuff. But there's a way to do this that will simplify it for you, okay? A lot of times we cannot go back and change too many things. But when we learn, we can do better going forward, okay? And so it's my hope that the next 5 points I'm going to touch on, that you guys, if you don't yet have a bookkeeping system in place, that you'll be able to apply all of this and set yourself up for success, okay? My very first one, if you're new to business or you've already been in business and your business income goes through your personal account, please set up a separate business account for your business. Please do not let your business be using the same account with your personal account. Okay, that's the first thing you need to do. So if you haven't done it, if you're listening to me and you're like, oh, people have just been paying into my personal account, once you get off this call, go to the bank, take your business registration information, take your EIN number, and go open a separate bank account. Now, I know that is convenient because sometimes people have to pay for stuff using their personal money. So what you do when you create the business account is that you transfer money from your personal account into your business. Remember, you are funding your business, and it can be treated in 2 ways. It can be treated as your owner's equity, or you can loan money to your business as well, okay? But you have to transfer the money from your personal into your business. That money you transfer from your personal to your business, that's not business income. It's investment into your business. So why you need bookkeeping is because you don't want somebody to go and report that money to the IRS as income, and then you're paying taxes on money that you already paid taxes on, because your money from your personal account, if you got it from a job, is after tax money. So you want to make sure that if it goes to that business account, somebody can accurately classify it to your balance sheet as an investment, and then you can use it now to pay for your expenses. So that's the first thing. If you're just joining, if you never, someone don't talk to Teros, I repeat and say, if you never, oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys. Someone caught me like, say, una come, and I was like, oh God, I started repeating it. I love this though. That's the beauty of life, because I keep it real. You get to see all of me, and this is it, okay? So that's the first thing, okay? Separate bank account. The second thing you want to do, and I know that we're all in different environments, but if you're in a place where you can use your debit or credit card, your business debit or credit, please use your business debit or credit. Do you know why that's important? Because when you use that, even if you lost your receipts, when we go through your bank statements, it's a lot easier to reconcile, and also it's easier for you to know exactly where that money went to. I'll give a good example. If you went to Olive Garden to have dinner with a business client, right? There's no way I'm going to see Olive Garden on your credit card and I'm going to think that Olive Garden you went there to buy supplies. No, right? You didn't go there to buy supplies. You went to Olive Garden to have dinner. So because you use your card, that already saves us the hassle or the headache of trying to find your receipts. Now, I want you to keep your receipts. But what I'm saying is, if you can avoid paying for things cash, you're not going to have the pressure of wanting to keep the pressure of if you lose your receipts, what will happen? Does that make sense, guys? So second thing, please use a debit or credit card, because it's a lot easier to reconcile. And then another thing too is, when you use a debit or credit card, if you decide to use a system, which I'll talk about, it can sync all that data electronically and automate it. So it becomes a lot easier for you to do and manage your bookkeeping, okay? And this applies to everybody. Even if you're a nonprofit founder, even if you're a business owner, you want to have that account separate. You want to use your card more for any of the transactions you're paying for, okay? The third thing we want to do is that we want to leverage systems. Now, there are two types of systems you can leverage. You can leverage a manual system, or you can do an automated system. Now, a manual system will be something like Excel, where you have to go in and enter things. I call notebooks a manual system too, because I think of my mom. My mom was a tailor. She had her own business. But let me tell you, this woman did not miss a dime. She would record everything. Like, there was no time you would come to my mom's business and you did not know how much came in, what went out. Everything was recorded. But what did she do? She did it manually. She wasn't that educated, but when it came to numbers, she never played. And I think that's why she could stay in business for my entire life, right? Because she tracked everything that came in, everything that came out, whatever was left. So now, for someone who is like, okay, I don't have access to other systems, I don't have access to Excel, you can do the writing. Do I encourage writing in this modern day? Not really, because it takes time. But if you don't have a lot of transactions and you're just starting up your business, at least write down everything, okay? Write it down and write the dates as well, your income and your expenses. Now, for those who are good with Excel, and I'm going to be attaching the Excel spreadsheet under the comment section, you can leverage our Excel spreadsheet. We have an amazing Excel spreadsheet that we give to small business owners who do not really want to pay for a software system like QuickBooks. And what they do is every month they go in and they enter all their expenses according to the categories. It's going to give you the same results. It's going to give you your profit or your loss. I'm going to attach this. So for a new business owner who is just who doesn't have a lot of transactions, I'm talking someone that has like 10 to 12 transactions a month. You know, some things are just automated bills. You can use the Excel. Now, the automatic systems now I want you to use is things like QuickBooks or Wave Accounting. When you use now those kind of systems, what is so great about them is that those systems will sync with your bank account. So you remember I said use your card, your debit or credit card. All that data from your debit or credit card is going to flow into the system. Now, you might have to go in and reclassify something that they may not classify correctly, but at least the data flows in. Now, you'll be asking me, if the data flows in, why do they do the reconciliation with your bank statements, okay? When the data flows in, it has to be reconciled to your bank statement because bank statements have cutoff. When data flows on real time, there's no cutoff. It's just data. But when you get a bank statement, your bank statement is always January 1st, to January 31st. And why is a cutoff important? Because we always want to know what came in and what went out in a period. So when you do a profit and loss, for example, we're doing a profit and loss for a period. So if we're doing a profit and loss for last year, it will be from January 1st through December 31st. Sometimes you might pay for something and the money doesn't go out immediately. Now, according to you, you paid for it on the 31st, but your bank did not recognize that transaction till the 1st. Guess what? Those are two different periods, which means based on your bank, that money was still in your account. So according to what we'll get from the bank, we will be counting that money as still in your account, and we will go with the bank cutoff. That's important for investors. It's important for IRS because you're taxed in a time period. You're taxed for a year. So if you do not follow a cutoff time, that's where we have a problem, okay? So it's very important that when the data flows, you reconcile. That's where the software system comes in. Now, if you feel like it can be overwhelming for you, the last option is to actually get a bookkeeper. Get someone who understands this stuff, you know? And when I talk of bookkeeper, just don't get somebody that is going to do. I've had some bookkeepers done some messy work in people's accounts. No, you want someone that has an accounting background, someone that understands accounting principles. Why is this important? There are certain expenses that you might incur in a time period, but they're not supposed to be written off in that time period. Okay? For example, if you buy equipment for your business, you bought it, but you're not supposed to write it off in that period because you're going to be using that equipment to generate more income. So that equipment goes into your balance sheet. And what is impacted is cash from your balance sheet. So it's not a profit and loss item. Now, this is accounting. I don't want to bore you guys with this. But what I'm trying to say is if you go to a bookkeeper that does not understand accounting principles, you're in trouble. That's the first thing. Second, before you hire a bookkeeper, also spend some time understanding your books. Because if you hire someone to go over your books, when you yourself don't have a good understanding of your business, you know what will happen? They can give you numbers that are not aligned and you wouldn't even know if they were right or wrong. Okay, so you want to make sure that you know your numbers. So if somebody came and said, oh, last month you paid electricity for $400 in your office, no, we've never paid over $175. Why are we paying 400? Now you can go and you can review it. But if you do not understand your business, if you don't understand your expenses, if you don't understand how your business runs, and that person tells you you paid $400, you're going to go with it. Meanwhile, the electrical company may have billed you 2 times. That's a whole situation, right? So you want to make sure that even if you're hiring someone, that you understand your own books, okay? So 5 things I said. For someone who is just getting started with bookkeeping, you have not been doing any bookkeeping. First thing, please get a separate bank account. Have a bank account that is completely separate from your personal account. Second thing, use your debit or business debit or credit card as much as possible. Okay, now there are situations where you have to pay cash. Document it as well, but if you have a way to use your card, use your card. Okay, the third thing is use systems. You want to use, even it could either be manual or it could be something automated, but either way, use some kind of system to track. You can write things manually if you don't have a lot of transactions, especially if you're starting out. But as you grow, of course, things get complex. You don't want to stay in that point. Or you can make sure that you're using Excel. And I'm going to be providing an Excel spreadsheet once I'm done with this that you can download and use it to start tracking your expenses. It's broken out by months. At the end of the year, you're going to know if you're making a profit or a loss. And then the other option is to use systems like QuickBooks or Wave App Accounting. Okay, they all do the same thing. Wave App Accounting is good for new business owners because it's free. The starter version is free. But again, they all do the same thing. And then the last thing, if you feel overwhelmed, you can always get yourself a bookkeeper. But when you're hiring a bookkeeper, make sure it's someone that is very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to accounting principles. Because if they go apply the wrong principle just because they're reconciling stuff and because you paid for something and they have to report it, it might get you in more trouble, okay? And before you hire them, also make sure that you have a good understanding of how your business works. Because if you know how your business works, when they give you your financial statements, you will always be able to tell if it's right or something is off and it needs to be fixed. Okay, so this is kind of where we are with the bookkeeping. I know I did say if anybody has tax questions, you should ask me. I hope this helps someone to get a good understanding of how to get started with getting their books in order, but more importantly, knowing why you need to get it in order. Don't wing it. Don't say, oh, I'm just starting out, I'm testing the waters. No, track everything. Track every single thing. I gave you 5 areas. It's important for you, the business owner. It's important for you to attract and secure funding. It's important for your growth. It's important for you to apply tax strategies, save on taxes, avoid being audited. And then also it's important from an exit strategies perspective, okay? So when it's time to close your business, sell your business, or pass on your business to your kids. Okay, so any questions for me so far? And by the way, if you don't have a good bookkeeping system, please, if a good bookkeeper, reach out to us because we do an amazing job, especially if we have to do cleanup for last year. We will take care of you. So if you don't have someone, you can always visit our website, www.artnps.com, or shoot us an email or provide the information as well. Now, I'm going to go in. I want to make sure if I have any questions I should respond to. Love that. John said, without a proper bookkeeping, investors won't find you attractive. I agree. Nobody is going to invest in your business if they cannot understand what you have done with what you had and if there's a potential for them to get a return on their investment. Nobody will find you. I love that. Okay, we're going to miss you. Thank you, Mimi, for joining. Thank you, John. Any questions for me, guys? Any questions? Any comments? It's tax season as well. If you don't have a tax person, we got you. I'm one of those CPAs who loves this. You can tell I have so much passion for this because I want to see business owners winning. And I'm going to say something specifically for our culture, right? Those of us that grew up in Cameroon. My mom was one of the few people I grew up seeing that was a business owner, and she was so driven. But I think about it, she didn't even have a lot of support. And I'm like, wow, and I think of us now, I feel like a lot of us did not get exposed to entrepreneurship early enough. And so I don't take it for granted that I can do what I'm doing and help, all the people that are daring into the entrepreneur space to build something. Okay. I want to be your support. If you don't have a CPA, I would love to be your CPA. There'll be linked to our website. You can book time for us to have a conversation. Tax season is here. If you feel like you don't have a solid tax person, we got you. We're open all year long, and that's very important for you as a business owner, because sometimes you might get letters from the IRS. You start calling your tax person and they're nowhere to be found. You want to avoid that. You want people that will be there if you reach out and say, hey, I got this. What can I do? How do I handle this? Okay. Any questions so far? Any tax questions? Are we good, guys? Comments? Anything? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything so far. I think we're good. All right. Thank you. Claudia said pertinent. Thank you for watching, Claudia. Thank you, guys. This has been it. You guys are amazing. Please share this with someone who could benefit from this information. Someone who is building a business or even starting out. If they are just starting out, this will be really helpful for them. Thank you all for hopping off. You're awesome. If you have questions that you didn't remember and it came up later, ask me the questions. There was a question someone asked me last time, and I think I should just drop that in here, and it was about structuring their business. If I can remember, you know what? I can't remember now because I don't have it in front of me. Well, thank you, Sadi. Thank you for watching. Send me your questions if you have any. I'll probably do another live. Before I forget, on Friday, guys, I'm doing a live at 11 a.m. I'm going to be talking about BOI, the beneficial ownership information. If you own a business in the US, or if you're out of the US and you own a business registered here in the US, this matters to you. This is the next most important thing in your business life. I will be talking about it on Friday. I'll be telling you guys what it is, why you have to do it, how to do it. I'll walk you guys through. Hopefully Facebook will allow me to show you how to do it. But importantly, some of how to do updates, because that's where it's going to catch a lot of people. A lot of people on social media have been doing a lot of, they do posts and they scare people about it. Well, you should be worried, but don't be scared yet. It's pretty new. They say if you don't file it by end of the year, you'll be penalized up to $500 a day. I think the penalty will be going up to. So please save the date. On Friday, I'll be talking about the BOI, and that's the new requirement for businesses to be able to declare who actually owns the business and who registered the business. We're going to talk in detail. Please tell your friends. I'll probably do a couple of posts to remind you guys. Tell your friends I'll be talking about this. It pertains to all of us business owners, okay? I'll also talk about who is exempt from doing the filing. So let's reconnect on Friday. You guys be safe. Have an amazing Wednesday. Yeah, it's a wrap. Be safe. Now I need to figure out how to end this. Let's see. Okay. Bye for now.